There's a certain kind of wisdom you just can't get from a book. You have to live it. It's that clarity that seems to hit you right around your 30th birthday. So today, we're going to unpack the 5 biggest things 30-year-olds really wish they had known a decade sooner.
It's a feeling I think we all get. You're living your life, right? You're working, you're making plans, you're getting by, and everything feels totally normal. And then, kind of out of nowhere, bam! The calendar flips, a whole new decade kicks off, and that milestone, well, it often kicks off this huge wave of reflection, where you suddenly find yourself replaying the last 10 years in fast forward. And right on the heels of that reflection comes this big, almost universal question. You look back at your 20s, and you just can't help but think, man, if only someone had given me the cheat codes.
So what's the first big secret? What's cheat code number 1? Well, it's actually a surprisingly comforting one. The idea that pretty much all of us, we're just winging it.
Yeah, when we're younger, we look at successful people and we imagine this straight line, this perfect, pre-drawn map to success. But the reality? For almost everyone, even the CEOs and the people we admire most, it's this messy, winding, uncertain path. They are figuring it out day by day, just like the rest of us.
And hey, this isn't just a hunch, it's actually backed by research. A really interesting Harvard Business Review study found that great careers aren't meticulously planned out. They're shaped by, and I love this, experiments, mistakes, and unexpected opportunities. It's all about adapting, not about having a perfect plan from day one.
So the real takeaway here is this. If you feel lost, especially in your 20s, you are not failing. You're actually on the right track. That feeling of uncertainty, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's part of the whole process of discovery. Okay, so once you accept that there's no perfect plan, it kind of forces you to rethink how you measure your life. And that leads us right into our second big lesson, this huge shift in what you see as truly valuable.
In our 20s, it is so easy to get caught up chasing the next paycheck, right? The bigger salary. But by 30, so many people realize they've been focusing on the wrong currency. The trade-off is incredibly simple but so profound. You can pretty much always find a way to make more money, but you can never, ever get back lost time.
I mean, it really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? When people look back, their biggest regrets are almost never about money. They're about not spending enough time with the people they love, not learning that new skill, or not building that thing they dreamed of. It's all the experiences they put off for later that they can't get back.
This is really the bottom line. Every single second that ticks by is spent, and it's gone forever. Realizing this, truly internalizing it, is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can possibly make, no matter how old you are.
So if time is our most precious asset, what's the one thing that allows us to actually use that time well? Well, that brings us to lesson number 3. Realizing your health isn't an expense, it's your single most important investment.
In our 20s, we kind of feel invincible. We can pull all-nighters, eat whatever we want, and just bounce back. But that superpower, it doesn't last forever. People consistently say they wish they'd built these foundational habits way earlier, treating their physical and mental health like a long-term project.
And here's the thing. Every little choice you make, it all compounds over time. The habits you're building right now, in your 20s, are literally creating the body and the mind that you're going to live with in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. All right, so after focusing on our internal world, our health, it's time to look outward. Our 4th lesson is all about the powerful and often invisible forces that shape who we become, our environment.
You've probably heard this quote before, right? Well, it's a classic for a reason, because it's profoundly true. The energy, the ambitions, the mindsets of the people in your inner circle, they absolutely rub off on you, for better or for worse.
And that's exactly why this is such a common reflection. It's that realization that you need to be an active curator of your social life, not just a passive bystander. You have to choose people who lift you up, who challenge you, and who inspire you to grow. Having the right people around you, it gives you the confidence to take chances. And that leads us to our final and absolutely crucial lesson. Understanding that your freedom to fail is at its peak when you're young.
Your 20s often represent this incredible period of maximum freedom. The stakes are just lower. As life goes on, responsibilities like a mortgage, kids, and career pressure, they all start to pile up, making those big, bold risks feel so much more daunting.
This right here, this is the quiet regret of playing it too safe. That fear of failure so often stops us from taking the very risks that lead to the biggest growth and, honestly, the most interesting lives. So, after all this talk about looking back, what's the actual point? Is it just about having regrets? No, absolutely not. The most important message here is one of hope and empowerment.
So how do you start? Look, you don't have to change everything overnight. It's about making one simple, intentional decision today. Decide to protect your time. Decide to choose your environment carefully. Decide to take care of your health. And decide not to be so afraid to try new things.
Because here's the thing, that clock is always ticking. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, or 50, there is going to be another moment in the future when you look back on the life you've lived up to that point. And that leaves us with the only question that really matters. Knowing all of this now, how will you live so that the next time you look back, your story's one you're genuinely proud to tell? What will you say?